As U.S. President Donald Trump welcomed El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele, the two leaders focused on one main topic: the El Salvador prison housing deportees. During their meeting in the Oval Office, Bukele made it clear that he would not return Abrego Garcia, an immigrant living in Maryland who was wrongly detained and sent to El Salvador's prison. President Trump also weighed in on the matter.
To ask President Bukele to help return the man who your administration says was mistakenly deported. The man who was mistakenly deported to El Salvador?
Well, let me ask Pam, would you answer that question?
Sure, President. First and foremost, he was illegally in our country. He had been illegally in our country.
Can President Bukele weigh in on this? Do you plan to return him?
Well, I'm supposed to be suggesting that I smuggle a terrorist into the United States, right?
It's always
how can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, the question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Despite a U.S. Supreme Court ruling requiring the Trump administration to facilitate Garcia's return, President Bukele said he lacks the authority to repatriate him and that he would not release a terrorist into El Salvador. The U.S. Supreme Court unanimously ruled that the Trump administration must make efforts to secure Garcia's release. Judge Sinis ordered the administration to provide her with daily updates detailing the steps being taken to bring Garcia back to the U.S. However, the Trump administration argues that it is not obligated to arrange his return, claiming its role is limited to facilitating his re-entry if El Salvador agrees to release him. This position has been criticized by a federal judge for lacking transparency and failing to comply with judicial orders.
Our administration has said they are powerless to do this, to bring Kilmar home, because they say he is in the hands of a sovereign foreign nation. And even as they say that, the president of that foreign nation, of that other nation, is in the White House right now discussing this historic partnership between our two governments to house detainees from the United States in the Secot prison in El Salvador. Shame. In other words, we know that when they say they are powerless, that is a lie. Bring Kilmar home.
Bring Kilmar home. Bring Kilmar home.
Kilmar Abrego Garcia, a Salvadoran immigrant with a U.S. work permit, was deported under the Alien Enemies Act after U.S. officials alleged ties to the notorious MS-13 gang. He had been living in Maryland with protected status. On March 15th, he was mistakenly deported to El Salvador's mega prison due to an administrative error. Garcia's family insists he has no ties to the notorious MS-13 gang, and calls for his release have grown louder with each passing day.
My husband, Kilmar, was abducted and disappeared by the Trump administration. It's been 28 days since I lost on my husband. This so-called administration error has destroyed my family's happiness, my children's innocence. Kilmar, if you can hear me, I'm still fighting for you.
Government breaks the law when they deport someone to a place that they should not deport them to. The government has to make amends. It was their mistake. It was their fault. They have to make it right.
Yes.
They have to make it right.
Justice!
Bring Kilmar home.
Bring Kilmar home. Bring Kilmar home. Bring Kilmar home.
As Trump initiated his massive crackdown on illegal immigrants in the U.S., El Salvador opened the doors to its notorious mega prison to welcome them. As Trump's military planes touched down in El Salvador, more and more innocent deportees were thrown into prison without proper investigation. The fate of these innocent individuals, locked behind bars with notorious criminals, remains uncertain as Bukele and Trump continue to strengthen their alliance.